What does it mean when a Swede asks you vitt eller rött? Or if they say skiter i blå skåpet? Well, today we're gonna find out, because we will talk about funny and common expressions with colors. But first, the Swedish word for color is färg. A great word to practice the sound we make when we combine RG. As you can hear, it's more of a Y sound, färg, and not ferg. So, färger, colors, they are adjectives, and this means in grammar language that they are used to describe things. For example, how is the wine? Red. Red wine. So the color, the adjective, describes the wine. The tricky part in Swedish is that adjectives change.
Here we go again.
If the word you're describing is an n-ord or an ett-ord. For example, if you want to talk about red wine, then you need to use rött, because the Swedish word for wine is an ett word. Therefore you need to say ett rött vin. And same thing happens if you want to talk about white wine. Our word for white can be either vit or vitt, and we would use vit for n-ord, such as en vit soffa, en vit tröja, or en vitlök, a white onion, our word for garlic. But for ett-ord, ett-words, we would say vitt with an extra T. And since wine is an ett-ord, an ett-word, then we need to say ett vitt vin. So back to rött eller vitt. If a Swede asks you this, then it's a shorter way for them to ask you if you prefer red or white wine, especially if they have two bottles in their hand. Rött eller vitt? So now that you know more how the Swedish colors work and how they change depending on if you're talking about an n-ord or an ett-word, if you're still a bit confused when I talk about n-ord and ett-ord, then you can check out this video where we talk about it a lot. But now that you know a little bit more how colors and adjectives work in Swedish, let's continue with the colors. Here are some more färger in Swedish. Grön or grönt for ett-ord. For example, en grön mössa. Here we use grön because mössa is an n-ord. Ett grönt hus. A green house. Here we use grönt with a T in the end because hus is an ett-ord. Or, du har gröna ögon. You have green eyes. Maybe you wonder why I added an A here. Gröna. Well, we do that to most colors in Swedish when we talk about plurals. And here I'm referring to eyes, ögon. We have more than just one. So that's why we need to say gröna. A very important thing to know is that in general, there are of course some exceptions, but in general we add a to adjectives in plural no matter if the thing we're talking about is an n-ord or ett ett-ord. Like you can see here. Två gröna mössor. Two green beanies. Två gröna hus. Two green houses. If you remember, mössa was en mössa and hus was ett hus. But we still add a to green, gröna, when we talk about these in plural. And this is something very important to remember, because if you say something like två grön mössor or två grön hus, then it wouldn't be grammatically correct in Swedish. It will sound weird. That's why you need to say två gröna mössor or två gröna hus. And we also say gröna with an A in the end if we talk about a specific mössa or a specific house. For example, den gröna mössan är fin. Or det gröna huset är fint. Moving on, more färger. Gul or gult. It sounds like gold, but this is our way to say yellow. En gul sol. Ett gult skärp. Mina gula skor. My yellow shoes. Remember that we put an A in gula if we talk about plurals or something very specific, like my yellow shoes. Mina gula skor. And I really recommend you to take this online video course if you want to practice more how colors and adjectives work in Swedish. Here's the link, and if you use the promo code COLOR, you will get a 50% discount. Our next color is blå, blue. En blå lampa, Ett blått blåbär. This is funny to say. Ett blått blåbär. Or jag har blåa ögon. And try to stay until the end of this video. Otherwise you're gonna miss some funny expressions like skit i det blå skåpet. But more about that later. Nästa färg. Brun. Brown. En brun björn. Ett brunt skägg. And if you are into brown eyes, then you can say du har fina bruna ögon. You have beautiful brown eyes. And remember the A in the end for the plural version because we're talking about two eyes. Bruna. Du har fina bruna ögon. Nästa färg. Svart. Black. Don't mix this up with svårt. A word for difficult. So, svart, svårt. Here we're gonna focus on svart. En svart katt. Ett svart IKEA-bord. As you might have noticed, this is an easy one because it becomes svart for both en ord and ett ord. But in plural, we still need to add the A. Svarta. Många svarta får. And then we have the color grå. En grå dag. Ett grått moln. Var är mina gråa vantar? Then we have come to some special colors that are very easy because they don't change. They are the same for en ord, ett ord, and even plurals. That's very nice. For example, the color rosa. En rosa ros, ett rosa täcke, or rosa moln, rosa glasögon. Did you notice? Rosa all the way. That's why I love pink. Same thing with our next color. Lila, purple. It doesn't change either. En lila säng, ett lila armband, två lila strumpor. And don't mix up lila with lilla. Lila is how we say purple. And lilla is how we say little. One of the ways to say little at least. You can for example say den lilla lådan. The little purple box. One more time so we practice these differences. Den lilla lådan. Then we have come to our last color for today. And that would be orange. We write it the same way as in English, orange, but we pronounce it the Swedish way, orange. Here you can hear different pronunciation of this word depending on a bit where you come from. Some people also say orange, but I say orange. Let's look at some examples. En orange apelsin, ett orange kuvert. An orange envelope is something we get here in Sweden. It's from Pensionsmyndigheten and it basically says how much money we have gathered for our pension. An interesting thing with this color, orange, is that some people don't change it for ett words, for example. So they might say ett orange kuvert instead of ett orange kuvert. Both things are okay. You can choose which one you like the most. What other colors do you want us to teach you in Swedish? Let us know in the comment section below. Now we have come to the final part. Let's look at some Swedish expressions with colors. Färger. And let's see what they mean. Let's start with a classic. An expression we also have in English. Det svarta fåret. The black sheep. Jag är det svarta fåret i familjen. I'm the black sheep of the family. Next expression. Jag ska ha en vit vecka nästa vecka. I will have a white week next week. If a Swede says this to you, it doesn't mean that they're gonna go skiing or enjoying white snow in some way. It means that they have been drinking too much lately and want to have a break from alcohol. That is en vit vecka. Next phrase. Jag är grön. I am green. If a Swede says this, then it means that they feel like they are a beginner at something, that they don't have any previous experience. For example, jag är grön på att surfa. I'm a beginner at surfing. Next expression. If a Swede says, jag svävar på rosa moln. I'm floating on pink clouds. Then it means that they are madly in love. And if they say, jag har tappat den röda tråden, then it means that they were about to say something or think something, but they lost the logical line in their storytelling. They forgot the common thread they had in their head. Maybe because they got distracted by something. Jag tappade den röda tråden. Next phrase. Jag får gråa hårstrån av alla problem i världen. I'm getting gray hair of all the problems in the world. A way of saying that you're getting stressed and worried about all the problems in the world so much that you're getting gray hair. Another color-related expression we often heard as kids was gult är fult. Yellow is ugly. Maybe not because it was ugly, it's just that it rhymed. Gult är fult. So they especially said this if you wear something yellow. And then we have come to our final color expression, a very funny one. Att skita i det blå skåpet. To shit in the blue cupboard. A way of saying that you made a fool of yourself or that you went too far. I actually just invented this phrase now. Han sket i det blåa skåpet när han sket i det blåa skåpet. He made a fool of himself when he in the blue cupboard. Yeah, don't do that. It's a bit unclear where this expression comes from. Some people say that it got at least very popular after a movie called Göta Lejon. Then I want to teach you a bonus word. Our word for colorful, and that is färgglad. We actually say color happy, and I think that is beautiful. Din halsduk är färgglad. Your scarf is color happy. Colorful. Do you know any other expressions with colors in Swedish? Let us know in the comment section below. Hej då, vi ses nästa vecka!